I thought the view from the roof of the house would be a bit better. Still pretty beautiful. Good morning. You know what? I'm gonna wait till my wife is awake before I start vlogging. Insanely productive morning. Emails, finished the design, and edited the video. And here's the beautiful thing about the edit. I was like, there's no way I can do daily vlogs on top of my hectic schedule, but guess how long it took me to knock out yesterday's edit, the entire edit. 35 minutes. If I can't edit a video every single day and it only takes 35 minutes, that's just me having an existential crisis. That is not a time factor at all. I've been adding this weight to skateboarding recently, and I'm trying to see if I can just kind of pull over and skate for a second and move on. And that was a 20-minute session. So it's just like, okay, 20 minutes of the day, you feel better, you skated, you did the thing. I could have skated more actually. As soon as I got into it, I was like, this is fun, I wanna keep going, but my board started cracking and I was like, oh, I have to get a really hard workout in, because honestly, life is pretty anxiety inducing. I have not escaped that yet. After all these years of YouTube and doing things and having fun and da-da-da-da-da, I can't escape just this constant nagging anxiety that plagues my brain. But things like that help. Just being like, okay, I'm gonna physically do something that I've happened to be really good at and that not many other people could just like do, makes me feel better. One reason I'm excited about doing these vlogs again is I'm forcing myself to do things that might be a bit uncomfortable. And the main thing of that is just like social events that I don't really have control over. So if I get invited to something, trying to be more like, yes. So I think there's this really fun thing happening later. I'm pretty sure I can film it, but it happens right, like I go back on baby duty for 4 hours, and then right when my shift ends, I'm basically, we're going to this thing. So like, I only have these 3 hours to do all the work in the day, and that thought alone creates so much anxiety and stress that I barely get anything done within the 3 hours. So actually filming is helping me just be like, no, you have to get this next thing, have to get this next thing, because right when this little part ends, I'm like, yeah, the rest of the day starting at 1 p.m., it's just kind of like going with the flow, and I don't like that. I like doing things, you know, in my world, but I also know it's important to do other things. I'm in LA and there's so many opportunities and things to do here, and I blow it a lot. But there's actually something I wanted to talk about before I get a heavy workout in, because I really want to beat myself up today. I want to talk about the Olympics. I've been seeing a lot of comments and conversations around it, and I find it fascinating why people are so bummed on the Olympics, who skate first of all, but also who don't skate. I didn't know that the reception would be pretty much worse by people who don't skate than they are from skaters, but let's get into it. Before this little rant, it does go slightly negative. I do want to say first off that the actual skaters involved in any of this are unbelievably aspirational, unbelievably talented, straight through hard work, and have worked their whole lives to be in this place. And there is not enough love and applause I can give the people who are actually in this. It's such a cool thing to get as good, to go as gnarly, to practice as much as everyone in this contest did. What I'm talking about is more of the culture around the Olympics and sport and contest altogether, which is the antithesis to what a lot of skaters view skateboarding.
All right, so I was watching the Olympics. Can we talk about how bad the skateboarders are? Listen, I don't know how to skate.
Listen, I get it. It's the Olympics, so it's that time when a bunch of people start talking about things they have no idea what they're talking about.
So first off, let's talk about the actual skaters, why they're upset about it. It's because it sort of represents the opposite of what I think skateboarding is to a lot of people, which is the anti-sport. I think a lot of people like myself got into it because you're in a community where everybody romanticizes this one idea, maybe for some reason or another you feel different, and then you just try to find the thing that feels different. A lot of people gravitated towards skateboarding because it was like, oh, it's like anti everything, essentially. You're not allowed to skate, and you go skate and you utilize the world around you, but you also know you're not really doing something bad. You're kind of just like riding this piece of wood, and people give you a really hard time for it. So there's this sort of irony there, and it's like this truth that all these skaters know together, where it's like, we're not doing anything bad, but we're perceived so negatively just because of the aura around skating rather than the actual activity, which isn't that bad. So when you see it in the Olympics and you see people like carrying their country's flag, it sort of just feels like skateboarders, at least in this new world, are just acclimating to being normal people within society, especially if you're from a country where maybe you were given a really hard time for skateboarding, and now you're like holding up the flag of the country. I don't know, I find that kind of stuff really bizarre. I really don't like country versus country tournaments and ideas, and maybe competition in general, but that's a much bigger conversation. So even for myself, when I watch the Olympics, it doesn't even feel like skateboarding, especially because most of the sport itself, the idea behind it is to go find spots that exist in the real world already and try to figure out a way to use your skateboard with that environment. Of course, like Street League in any contest, it's something that's built for skateboarding, so it sort of defeats the deep purpose of what skating is for a lot of people. Okay, now why do other people have a problem with skateboarding? The reason viewers are having a problem with the sport is, one, I'm sure their perception of skateboarding is changing when they're seeing people who are wearing like country flags skating for a team. So first off, that whole image is broken. But then skateboarding is really inconsistent. It's not like other extreme sports where you have a different part of your body attached in a way. You could use your hands for scootering or BMX. You can have your feet attached for something like snowboarding or skiing, and they are also very difficult, but skateboarding is way harder to make it look like you're good at it. So even the basics like an ollie is very difficult to do consistently. Even professional skateboarders after 20 years can ollie down a stair set and get wheel bite and fall forward even after practicing thousands and thousands of times. And that's how skateboarding works. No matter how good you are, you can always sort of mess up on the basics if things just don't go right. So it's much more harder to be consistent and look like you're good. So what people are saying is that, oh my gosh, my local skate park kid can do all these tricks. These aren't even impressive, because people can't tell the difference between a nollie back 270 blunt slide like Yuto did and a front board down the same rail, even though it's decades of experience apart. But also it is a lot of little kids. So I think when people see that, they go, well, how hard is the sport if a bunch of 13-year-old, 12-year-olds, little kids are winning it? And it's just because, this is what I was saying before, it does feel like a different sport now. Skateboarding is a different thing entirely, and people are training from very, very, very early on to be good at this very specific type of contest, and they're able to make a great living. Like Yuto probably gets paid very well for what he's doing, winning the Olympics twice. It's just a strange thing. So I think now it's sort of accidentally became strange for everyone, because nobody looks at it and goes like, that's aspiring, because no 20-year-old or whatever is gonna watch a 12-year-old and go, one day I want to be able to do, you know, that or whatever. I don't know. And then skateboarders, of course, just feel like it's foreign. So it's kind of weird. It kind of missed on a lot of fronts, unfortunately, but I think it's still, the people in it still got a lot of views, they still got a lot of attention, and clearly there's a lot of people still watching it, but I think that's where people feel a little off with it. And it just depends what the culture of skateboarding is to you. And to a lot of people, it's not the Olympics. I'll go ahead and show two things that I'm working on right now. I didn't want to film it because it's pretty embarrassing, the stage I'm at right now, but it's cool to show this. And then in a few vlogs, or maybe a lot of vlogs later, hopefully I'll just have the technique cleaned up, the process cleaned up. But one is handstand push-ups. Oh my God, I just can't do them yet. But I think this one, I can feel like, I'm like, okay, if I actually did this a lot, I'd be able to learn it pretty quickly. So I just got to do them every day. But this is where I'm at. Like that was like as far as I could go. So I want to try like 5 or 10 a day, depending on how I feel after the workout. But this one is a climb up. They're supposed to look like this. So when you go to jump up, you basically jump all the way up to this position and then you just push up. But me, I'm going like here, then here, then here. It looks bad. It just requires a lot of technique and strength and the combination of the two. But there are people who are probably like weaker than me who just have better technique who can do it. So it's all about practice. So like this is just reps and reps and reps until it works. Oh, I actually hurts my abs a lot. And it's a pretty slippery wall, so if I could do it on this one, I could do it on any wall, but I think the backflips are finally getting to me. All right, we'll get there eventually. Oh! That felt incredible, but now, gotta do the adult parts of the day. Wish me luck. Be there with me in spirit, please. And I'll fast forward to the actual cool thing we're doing tonight. Honestly, it's probably gonna make for good content. You look adorable, babe.
Thank you.
All right, fit check.
Look, his little dress.
Aww,
Here.
she's a female. A lot of people on my Instagram thought this was a male. Nope, female.
Here, can you button this last button?
All right,
There
fit
you go.
check. I bought a new shirt. I bought pants that are too tight to wear for skateboarding, but they work in public events. Also, these shoes were just kind of hiding in my closet. Some Reeboks.
You look cute.
Thanks, babe. I did not do a good job of describing what was going on. There was a car showing event at the car museum in LA. Sarah was invited. They had like an exhibition. So we basically got to look at a lot of really ridiculous cars from really, really famous movies and just a bunch of cool things in general. So these are all the actual vehicles. They're not like remodels. This is where they put like the Bat scooter or whatever, the DeLorean, the Herbie thing. This is all actually the original ones, which is wild. But it's about 6 p.m. and I'm already tired. I'm the one who does like the early shift and I, clock out early and I'm already sleepy, especially like trying to be social on top of that. But you know what? That's okay. I'm talking to my camera at a social event. Sounds like me.
Crazy looking.
It's wild, huh? Okay, we had great conversations, cool hangs. That was with Sarah's manager. They also had a baby that got to hang out with our baby. It was the first baby interaction, which was really cool. But that's it. Now I'm exhausted. I'm gonna get straight into more drawing. By the way, I finished, well, here are the 2 drawings, because I assume I'm gonna finish the second one, boom. And boom, if I did finish the second one, but I really like this first design. I feel like people are gonna be really hooked on it, especially because it copies Zelda, where it's like, it's dangerous to go alone, take this into skateboard. I don't know, I feel like I haven't seen this before, which is weird because it's so obvious in a way, but really stoked on today's designs. I had a good day, but I'm so unbelievably tired. So I'm gonna go to bed. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video, I guess, because I'm gonna try to do this consistent. Thanks so much, take care, progress daily, and keep killing it.